What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more John Foxx, and we're going back to his 1980 album, Metamatic. Again, I'm thinking about this album as I've started to go through Ultravox during the period just after he left to go do his solo things, so yeah, bottom line, getting a couple different lanes of related acts, like, concurrently, so yeah, big shout out to all the people, including, of course, Han Solo, who sort of explained some of these connections and sort of made sure that I'm, kind of going through a couple of these things at the same time. I keep mentioning it, and I'm getting closer, actually, to the point where this will finally happen, but, going through the first couple Human League albums, and then once I get through Travelogue, which I'm like halfway through, I'm going to start listening to the next Human League album at the same time as Heaven 17 to get that sort of, related, but also going into different directions sort of connection. And again, not only is there that thing, sort of connection with Ultravox, but a number of people pointed out that Gary Numan and John Foxx were, very interested in each other's work and were influenced by each other. And people have talked about how they've given interviews where they've, just admitted as much and said, oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, just thinking about all these things as I begin going through this album. We're up to the second tune, which is He's a Liquid. It's interesting, it's in the form of metaphor, because it's not saying he is like a liquid, it's not simile, but it is in fact metaphor. And then to be like a liquid, or to be a liquid, would perhaps, I don't know, be indicative of someone who is not necessarily a particular way all the time. They can sort of fit whatever vessel or situation that they're in, which is, one quality of liquids, that they don't have like a definite shape, that you can put them into different containers or vessels and they will take on the shape that they are in. So it could be maybe about plasticity and the ability to adjust to circumstances. It could also be about someone who's kind of elusive and, they're not tangible in the same way as other people. You can't get a hold on, who they are or what they are. And yeah, I mean, beyond that, I feel like it might be sort of like visual, and there might be, actual references to running bodies of water or large standing bodies of water. But yeah, like I said, given that it is already a metaphor, I expect it to relate to someone's sort of character, personality, or condition relative to others. So I guess we'll find out. This is John Foxx. The tune is He's a Liquid, and it's from the 1980 album Metamatic.
There's some flowers on the bathroom floor. There's a click track, now she makes a flashback. There's a liquid. Here's a laugh, she's a graph. He wears a sticky white shirt and tie. In those viscose clothes, his watch and goes. He's a liquid.
I love that sort of like coin inserted noise. Sounds like an electronic soundtrack to like a classic horror movie or something. Dissonant, it's like murky. Cabin pressure.
She's elusive, he's adhesive. There's a trickle down a falling wall. They get married too much. She's a soft touch, he's a liquid.
It does seem more descriptive.
She pushed. They read the Bible about her flood.
Rather than
narrative. The curtains, and now she's certain he's a liquid.
Again, that that like star slash metallic sort of sound. That's it. It's like sometimes I don't trust that like apparent ends of songs anymore. There's been like 3 or 4 different deep dives where I've been burned by a song where it'll like pause for 2-3 seconds or it'll seem to fade and then it just roars back to life again. Even there was a Smiths track that did that recently. Like Human League, all right. Like I realized there's no predicting what the hell they're gonna do. But yeah, there was a Smiths track that did that. There's a couple other tunes. So like as that was sort of apparently stopping there, I was like, wait. But yeah, a cool tune, and seemingly like, again, it's like very haunting and kind of dark, and yet then the parts where we're getting these metaphors and these sort of descriptions, seemingly of a male character, a female character, maybe more than that, but certainly at least 2 different characters. Yeah, it felt a little brighter, a bit more kind of like, weird, eccentric in a good way. So I enjoyed the sort of intense slash dissonant composition of the tune. I enjoyed what I did catch from the lyrics. A couple of the lines were sort of funny, but I don't know. I didn't pick up on any like larger picture. I didn't, if it was about a relationship, I couldn't really tell that. If it was about, what one person is thinking relative to someone else in their life, it didn't. I wasn't able to like put it in a proper place. But I did hear like lines that seemed to be more metaphors, not just the idea of he's a liquid. But there was also that like, oh, but now she's sure of it or whatever. Now she's convinced like he's a liquid. I don't remember exactly what the preceding line was, but it was something to that effect that like, her perception of the situation had been confirmed and now, she's aware he is a liquid. So yeah, not quite sure what's going on lyrically, but sonically a very interesting tune. And again, I get that some of his stuff, or at least based on what people have said, I think Han Solo and maybe 1 or 2 others, that, is very sort of experimental. Like people like him and Newman